This video is brought to you by AKS IAS.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, all had your lunch? Okay. So, I'm Prasanna Kumar. Basically, I'm a doctor. So, right now, I'm doing my training in National Police Academy in Hyderabad. So, that's why I had a very good opportunity to come and meet you all. Okay. So, are you all comfortable with English, right? అంటే నా తెలుగు అంత బాగలేదు. ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రమ్ తమిళనాడు. సో మై తెలుగు ఈజ్ ఫుల్లీ మిక్స్ విత్ తమిళ్. ఓకే. సో బెటర్ ఐ విల్ స్పీక్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్. ఇట్స్ ఫైన్, రైట్? ఆల్ గుడ్? Fine. So, how many of you are engineers here? Mostly? Okay. Any doctors here? Okay. Any from like other backgrounds? Other agriculture, arts backgrounds? Okay. Dominated by engineers. Okay. In my academy also, out of 170 Indian probationers, we have 160 are from engineering background. So now this UPSC, it's becoming an engineering services now. So it's becoming like that. Okay. Very good. So fine, before I start my session today, so here I was said that today I was supposed to give you motivation, I was supposed to give you some strategy, but the problem is 7-8 months back I was also sitting on this side. Okay, I have listened to a lot of motivation videos, lot of strategy videos, so I know how it is to be sitting on the other side. So today what I will do is that let me share my experience in UPSC, because I believe I have given 5 attempts. Okay. So in 5 attempts, I have gone to 4 interviews. I have been allotted civil services 2 times, and I also failed in prelims once. So based on this journey, what I did, what I should have done it better, what are the takeaways for you so that you don't commit these mistakes and don't take 5 attempts like me, so that you clear in 1 attempt. So that will be my strategy for today. Okay. So let me start with my experience only, so that please try to follow that, because at least you should not do these mistakes, so that you don't fall up like me coming after 5th attempt coming to NPA. Okay. So that's the agenda. And second thing, what I will be doing is that few strategies for mostly focused on prelims, because prelims is extremely near to us. But my main area of focus, because I am very good in mains, so I'll be talking little bit about mains. I don't want to talk too much about mains today. Maybe later we'll do after prelims, and little bit about the interview. I'll do that. And the last part of the session, I will have like maybe whatever you want, you can ask me. Okay, so that I will take few questions from your end. So that will be the agenda for today. But before I start, one word of caution I would like to give. Okay, the first thing is that we have lot of it's very easy to give advice in UPSC. I know that extremely. We can, any topper, what they do, come on stage and talk whatever they feel like. They will say that I did not write any notes, but I cleared this exam. Those are maybe true, or sometimes lot of show offs are there, because ultimately you should all understand this is also becoming a business now, right? So a lot of people do not give their honest opinions. So I feel that you are all now coming into a place where you are going to work with the society. So there will always be good things to take, there will always be bad things to see. So you should use your discretion, what to follow, what not to follow. So, but what I will do here is that I will tell only the genuine story, and even in this, some things may suit you, some things may not suit you. So it's up to you to take what is true and what is not true. You're getting it? So that, because each individual is unique, and everyone's strategy should be slightly different, but not much different, but at least slightly variations are possible. Okay. So with that, I'll start my journey. So basically, I was an MBBS doctor. Okay. So in my first year of MBBS, it was when me and my friends actually, we used to go to orphanages for celebrating birthdays from my school days onwards. So then we thought, why we'll not make it into an organization? So in first year of college, we started an NGO called Smile Foundations. Okay. And it was started by 6 people. Then slowly it grew. Right now, we have more than 4,000 active volunteers. We have 32 chapters of this NGO. And I was proud enough to say that I was one of the founders of that NGO. And it all started with this. Because when I started working with the NGO, then only I realized the potential, what you can do as a civil servant, especially at the ground level. So the changes which you can bring, and the experience which you can bring inside, And third thing, the most important thing, the authority you have, because ultimately anyone can speak on stage, but who will listen to you? That is very important, right? So these are the things which attracted me to come into this journey. I really left, another noble profession called medicine. I could have just start for PG exams. I could have done some specialization right now, but I thought I will do this. And right from my childhood, I had like so much ambition that I should become, whenever someone asks me in school, right, I will say my aim is to become a politician. So that was my main when I was in 8th standard, 9th standard. But slowly I came to realize that, okay, that is even more difficult than UPSC. That's extremely difficult, and which is extremely difficult to do also. So I thought I'll take an easier journey. I thought UPSC is an easier journey, I'll take this. But then I came into this, then only I realized this is also another difficult journey. So immediately after my graduation in 2016, I thought I'll start preparing. Then I used to see a lot of this YouTube. That time YouTube was starting to get promising that day. So few toppers I saw, they said you just read NCRTs and you go give the exam, you will clear. I thought, okay, we are doctor already, no need to take any coaching. So I started at home reading NCRTs. From cover to cover, I read all the NCRTs. And I gave my first attempt in 2016, August itself, in 7-8 months. I thought, anyway, we'll clear in one attempt. So first attempt, initially prelims I cleared. I thought, okay, I'm like superb. We are going to clear in one attempt only. So I cleared prelims, I cleared mains also. Good that my optional was also medical science, so I had already that knowledge which was carried on. And I went to interview. I was extremely confident in interview that anyone who saw me, this guy is going to crack IAS only. But then the marks came. I got 138 in interview, which is like one of the least scores in interview. And then only I realized I had cleared the cutoff of mains by 3 marks only. So it was too late to realize what a huge blunder I had done. And the worst part was 2017 prelims was just 14 days away after the result. Okay, then next 14 days, I thought, okay, at least this time we'll do. I studied sincerely, very hard, extremely hard. And luckily, I got through prelims second time also. This time, I didn't want to make the same mistake. So I moved to Chennai from my home in search of coaching so that I'll take some mains test series. At least this time, I'll go for coaching, do something. So few things worked, few things did not work. But ultimately, second attempt, I got 508 rank, where I landed up in postal services, Indian Postal and Telecom, Accounts and Finance, IP TAFs we call. I got into that service. Then only the reality struck me. We have a huge thing called as civil services, where 23 services are there. Till we clear, our aim is to get into the rank list. But once you clear, other problems start coming. Life is always like that. When you first see one problem, only one problem is there. But once you clear that problem, you will have thousands of problems coming at you. Same thing happened. Then because the very reason I came into this preparation was to work at the ground level, to do something for the society. Then I realized I'm going into some account service. I'm not saying that that service is bad or good, but that was not the aim of why I started this preparation. Then I realized, no, this is not my journey. So I didn't join the service. So I quit the service. Day one, I went there. I realized this is not the place I should stay. So I resigned, and immediately there was so much huge pressure from my family. Who will resign a government job? You are getting a government job. You know, South India, government, like parents. My father is also in government service. So typical parents will say, who will resign a government service, that to a group A post, something like that they were telling. I said, no, I don't want to do this. So luckily, the same year I wrote the combined medical services also. So I got there also as a medical officer in Ministry of Defense. So then after 4 months, I joined there. Then there again, I was just treating cold cough fever, cold cough fever, cold cough fever. Same thing started happening. I don't know, I didn't want to be here also. So again in 4 months, I resigned. So this 4 months, why I worked, that is very important. So I had a girlfriend right from my second year of college. So much marriage pressure was there on me from her family side. So I thought, so you have to go and ask for a girl, you remember, and that too, she was from Lucknow, she was a North Indian. So I am from South India. So without a job, it's extremely difficult to go and ask for a girl. So I thought this time I'll take the job. So I joined. 3 months I got married and I resigned next month. So that was the funniest thing. Because now I'm not answerable to anyone. Not her family, my family. Okay, marriage is something which worked in a very good way for me. Because there was no pressure on me. So that was the most important thing. And then I started work. For 1 year I worked. Then I moved on to Delhi because my wife got into AIIMS Delhi. So I thought it's time for me to shift to Delhi. Why I am telling you all these stories is that I have seen so many things in the UPSC part, and second thing, I have seen from a faculty perspective also what goes wrong, what goes right. And you won't believe, I have 4 of my own students who are like IPS probationers with me right now in the same academy. So one way I'm feeling proud, because right now even Tamil Nadu, I was teaching for group 1 students also. So 23 of my students are in deputy collector and DSPs, and right now 2 IAS officers are my students and 4 IPS officers are my students. It's a proud feeling for me. So that's how my journey started. And at one point of time, like, I was extremely serious in my preparation, but whenever I was serious, I never cleared this exam. But 2020 attempt, I thought, okay, I don't know, something is not working for me. Let me continue in this journey of teaching only. I started loving teaching people. So I thought, future we'll do something in the coaching industry only. I was planning to that. And that is the time I cleared also. So that is when I realized that this exam is not all about preparation. It's not all about preparation. There are things beyond preparation. That is the most important thing, lesson which I learned from my preparation, and I want to focus on this part also. So what happened for my attempt which I cleared? The things beyond I tell. First thing was that I was not having so much pressure, because I thought this is not working out for me. Maybe I will change my journey or something like that. But I just went and gave the exam with a completely free mind. Okay, without anxiety. Other exams, previous mains and all, what I will do, even before entering the exam hall, I will be revising the last minute notes. But this time when I gave the exam, I didn't even take any notes with me. I just took my water bottle only, nothing else I took. And my preparation was extremely poor, but I was extremely calm in my mains exam. And third, in interview also. I hope you will have some idea about interview process, right? Has anyone talked to you about interview process? About the UPSC building and all? So I'll just put one graphical representation so that you will understand. So what happens is that in interview, it's color. So basically there is a main hall of the UPSC. Okay, so here only you will get your documents registered, and there will be multiple rooms on the sides. Okay, so where multiple boards sit, and basically you will be marched from here and you will be made to sit here in front. If you are going to, say for example, some board 1 you are going. Okay, you will be made to sit here, wait for the previous person to complete, and you will be waiting. So what happens is that you will be sitting here in front of that room all alone. No one will be there for 40 minutes. You will be just sitting there. So what do you think will be our thought process? 40 minutes sitting in front of the board, and you know that this is a most important exam in your life. You know that if you clear, life will be different. If you don't clear, life will be extremely different, right? So much things goes in your head. You will be thinking so much that ultimately you will become anxious. But last time what happened? It's okay, this is another interview. So many interviews I faced in my life. Let me go and give this interview. And I gave, and I got 198 also this time. So what I am trying to say is that in this exam, reading is one side. But one more important understanding which you should all think, that it does not mean that I did not read. I had read for my 3 attempts past, like so sincerely, that the knowledge, accumulated knowledge helped me. You don't think that knowledge did not help me at all. Knowledge was already there, but this time's extra, I had that calmness, patience, non-anxious personality I had with me. So that was what helped me to crack this exam. Okay, so this is about the short journey which I wanted to share with you. In prelims, mains and interview perspective, I thought I'll share more insights. But anyway, this the short and sweet of my journey in UPSC, so that you should all get an idea how UPSC works. Because this exam is not only for knowledge, because you all know that prelims, you would have seen 2021 prelims question paper, right? How many questions came from your books? What do you think? How much percentage comes from whatever you read? What do you think? 30%, 40%, 70%? How much percentage of questions directly comes from your notes, your books? What do you think? Any guess? Take one number, no? Nothing wrong. 30, 40%? Anything else? Around? Okay, we'll keep it at 30, 40% only. Actually, to be very frank, 2020 to 2021 attempt, it was less than 40%. It was almost 30% of the questions only what you read comes. So that means out of 100 questions, only 30 questions are going to be from your domain, what you are going to read. And among the 30 questions, 20 questions will be extremely easy. Even for someone who has read for 2 months, he will answer. So only 10 more marks you are going to get additionally. So 10 questions means 20 marks you are going to get additionally from what we have learned for an entire year. then what about the rest of the part? 60 to 70% of the questions. It does not mean that it is not somewhere you have not read at all. It is somewhere you would have heard distantly, or it is somewhere you have to eliminate an answer. So that is the most important aspect I would like you all to focus. Because what happens is that I have seen my students who start memorizing, say for example, parliament. Okay, parliament means 10 questions, 10 points are there. President means 10 points. They'll start memorizing each and everything so hard that if they are asked a question from that, they will answer. But slightly beyond that, they will not answer. Okay, but what is this slightly beyond? How to prepare? This is something which no one understands. But in my experience, how to do that is that, what I feel is that solving lot of question paper comes handy here only. Okay, so it's, you have your institute, you will have a lot of question papers coming from your institute. Online, you have all the institute's materials, right? Question papers, right? So have you solved any of the question paper MCQs, prelims ka? Do you think it's directly lifted from the book, or it's more of applied nature? How is it coming? So that is where you learn to applying. So what I feel is that how much ever importance you are giving for reading, the same importance has to be given for applying it, because that is going to be your majority of your question. That means your application part should be more than what you are reading actually, the time which you allot. How many of you think that you are giving more time for preparation how many of you think that you are giving more time for solving question papers than reading? How many of you think like that here? You're solving more than reading. Very good. Anyone else? That is the first problem I identified in myself. All of us do the same mistake. Only, very good. I'm really happy that at least one person is doing that. You know that 70% of the marks are going to come from applied part, but how many of us are doing for that? The problem is that our strategy itself goes wrong in the beginning itself. So this is the right time, because you already completed your study. Almost most of your revision will be done. So this is the time you should start applying more. So that is the first and commonest thing I learned from my preparation. Start applying more. That is when you will start cracking this prelims. Basically, prelims is extremely mad race. So many people, almost 5 lakh, 6 lakh people are applying, 2 lakh, 3 lakh real aspirants are writing. So even 1 mark will change. That time this application becomes extremely handy. I'll give you one example also. So I think this year, right? 2021. Yeah, one question. I think it was based on songs from the prison. One question was there. Yeah, there was one question, songs from the prison, which was the translation. I'll just write this down. Songs from the prison. Okay, songs from prison, which was a translation of ancient religious text. Okay, who has written this? To be very frank, now you all know the answer, but last year, how many of you would have known this answer? Because it came in exam, now everyone knows the answer. But last year, I'm pretty sure that no one knew the answer for this. But it was one of the easiest question. So there were 4 options. One was Gandhi. One was Tilak. One was Nehru. And I think Sarojini Naidu. Okay, this was the 4 options if I am right. Okay. So you tell me, from your knowledge of history, who were the people had a religious orientation also to our national movement? From these 4. Who are extremely secular people in this 4, you tell me? You tell me who are the secular people here? Very secular. Huh? Gandhi was very secular? Okay. Okay, Nehru, extremely secular. That's why our constitution is also extremely secular, because of his outlook. Yes. So Tilak, did he use religious symbols, Hinduism, something? So he is not a secular person. So he could have written a book on religion. Can be possible. Sarojini Naidu, again, extremely secular lady. Okay. She does not even talk about religion in her common parlance. So I thought I'll eliminate these options. Then I had 2 options left with me. Now Gandhi is there, Tilak is there. So both of them talk about religion. So much they talk about religion, philosophy, etc. So now you see the title of the book, Songs from the Prison. Was it a secular title or a religious title? Is it a secular title or a religious title? More like a secular title, right? So what do you get from that? So he was a religious person, but somewhat moderate in his religion. So who among these 2 are moderate religious? Gandhi. I'm telling you, this technique works in almost 50% of your questions. This is how you have to approach your prelims. None of the questions are going to come directly from your reading material or the so-called Lakshmikant or so-called Shankar Ganesh, whatever book you study. you need to start applying like this. And how will you get this application? You should have a wide variety of knowledge in application format. You should solve multiple question papers, then only you will get this knowledge. So, and I'm telling you, whoever has cleared prelims, clears prelim by elimination method only mostly. But this is what something people do not tell you. Because when they say that even I didn't know the answer, but it doesn't seem good in a video or when you post on YouTube, no, it doesn't seem very good. That's why so many people do not talk about it. But this is the reality, because I've seen so many students of mine who are clearing, and myself I've cleared prelims like 5 times now. So all these things I'm telling you because this is where most of the students are lacking. Okay, so this is about one important thing which you should focus on prelims. Second important thing for mains, I would like to give you something. Have you started answer writing or anything? You have written some answers? Any tests? Yes, most of you have taken. But anyway, this is not the time for mains, I know that. But still, because I'm here today, I don't know when I'll be meeting you guys. For mains, what do you think how are the questions? Is it from expected areas are coming or very random areas like prelims? How is it coming? Expected areas, beautiful. So, if you take any mains question paper, 20 questions, when some institutes predict the questions, or from their model test if you take, almost 15 questions gets repeated in the mains. So here the strategy should be opposite of prelims, because most of the questions are coming from expected areas. So what is the strategy then for mains? Here you should do something called as, whatever you read you should be thorough about it. And mains is again a huge ocean, but ultimately most of the questions, 12 to 14 questions, are going to concentrate around current affairs. So that is where whenever you are making notes, make short notes of the current affairs and keep. Ultimately the same is going to come in your exam. So again, now the preparation should be more deeper for mains, whereas for prelims it should be more shallower. That means you need to read more and more possible, more and more question papers you should solve when you are doing for prelims. But it becomes opposite when it comes for mains. Because even if you read, say for example, in the current affairs news, Russia, Ukraine is there. Definitely this year, one question is going to come on either Russia in world history, or Russia, Ukraine past conflicts, or an IR, how India is balancing its relationship with the Western world and Russia. Some question is definitely going to come. And I'm pretty sure that one question is going to come. And everyone knows this. But what you are going to give an answer, that is very important. So you should have a much deeper understanding of these issues. Okay, in mains. So second important thing is that for mains, the most important thing which a lot of people lose out is time. Because for a 10 marker, you have around 7.2 minutes, correct? And for a 15 marker, you have around 10.5 minutes. Just imagine in 7 minutes, you need to write 150 words. At the same time, you need to flow your thoughts also, how much of pressure it's going to be. And it's not just one answer. You are going to write 20 questions like that in the same time pressure. So that means you should be extremely confident about your points. At the same time, you should be extremely skillful in completing your paper also. That is where practice comes in play. The more you practice, the more better marks you get. And practice also helps in how? Because if you start solving a lot of question papers, the same questions is going to come in your answer paper. Because here, questions get repeated in mains. So here, that is why the practice is extremely important of writing a lot of test series. And that is why you hear a lot of toppers saying that practice answer writing, practice answer writing, practice. But why? Because of these two reasons. You're getting it? This about the mains. So, interview. From my experience, I'll tell you. First attempt, first interview, I got 138. Second, I got 198. Third, I got 176. Fourth, I got 198 again. So, I have been in all the spectrums. Highest marks also I got. Lowest also I have got moderate also. So, what is most important in mains, like interview, I will call as, first is, interview is something not a test of knowledge again, right? They are going to test your personality. It's also called as personality test in UPSC, right? So that means what they're going to test is that whether this person is aware about his surroundings, whether he has that common sense, because right now, the common sense is the most non-common sense right now. A lot of people do not have that common sense right now. So that is what they are testing for. And third thing is that whether he is suitable for the services. Because there are so many people who are extremely intelligent who won't fit into this place. Even they are eliminated from there. That is why you hear that a lot of people from IIT, JEE and all, they don't score more than 140 in their interview. Because they are too smart to answer. The same happened with me in the first interview. I acted too smart and I got 138. That is, if you are from a very humble place and if you are acting humble, you will definitely get high marks here. So always be honest. Always show that you are a person of integrity. And third thing, just speak your mind. Do not get, there is a problem with a lot of coaching institutes. Now, what they do is that they start training you. What they will tell you is that they will say one opinion. That means like the board gives you one opinion. They say that you should not cross the board's opinion. What people will do, if board says this is not tiger, this is lion, yes sir, this is lion only, they will start shaking their head. Okay, India is wrong in Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine. Yes sir, India is wrong, sir. They will start answering. No, nothing like that. The board does not want someone who just listens like this. The board wants, because you are selected for IAS or IPS where you have a lot of discretion. You need to take decisions in the ground. So they want someone who is good at decision making, right? So you should be like, don't just go blindly by someone said that whatever board says is right. No, nothing like that. If you are not okay with that, you can always contradict the board. I have done that and I have got good marks also. And second important thing is that a lot of institutes train like, sir, I like to beg to differ from your opinion, sir. Why you have to beg in an interview board? This is how people, you just see mock interviews, right? Sir, I like to beg from your opinion, sir. I like to beg. A lot of people start begging for marks there. So this is like going under the table, which, do you think an IAS officer should be like that, or an IPS officer should be like that? Who is like so timid, sir, please, sir, okay, sir. No. You should be like a person who should be shown that you are good at decision making. You should be seen as a person who is good at your job. You should be seen as a person who is confident. So I feel that confidence, honesty, and patience to listen to the questions. A lot of people, what happens is that once they start answering questions, immediately they start jumping into the answer. Just listen to the question properly, analyze it, okay, just assimilate the question, then start answering in a calm, cool manner, because entire year you have read, you will have all the knowledge in the world. Trust me, after writing mains, you will have all the knowledge which is required for interview. Just that you need to have trust in yourself. And automatically, you will do well in your interview. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about interview again. Again, after mains, we'll discuss about interview. Okay. So this is the most important things I wanted to tell about the strategies. But most importantly, more than this strategy, I will just want to say about common mistakes which people make in their preparation. Okay, that is extremely important because I also made so many mistakes. So the first and the foremost mistake, what I seen from people is that either they overplan or they underplan. How many of you think that you are overplanning? This week I'll finish polity book. Next week I'll finish economics book. Anyone plans like that? Or this week I'll finish 7 chapters in polity, but ultimately you will finish only 2 chapters in polity. Do you do that or not? Yes, no? No? No one does that? I have been an extremely over planner, because what happens in over planning is that, yes, target is high, you will trend to read more, but over a period of time, what happens is that you want to finish something and you never finish something. That happiness of finishing your target is not there at all, and you get demotivated over a period of time. That is what happens in over planning. Sometimes you should know what you want to do. What happens is that they will over plan something, that what happens is that entire week they are bogged upon, oh yo, I have not done this, I have not done that, I have not done that. And what they'll do, ultimately they'll be just thinking, and they don't do anything also. That is the problem. So what I feel is, little bit of underplanning is okay. Because you will try to finish 3 chapters in polity, okay, for an entire week, but ultimately 3 chapters in Wednesday itself you have completed. What happens is that, yes, I have done my target. Okay, now I'll add more targets. So something, it keeps you happy also. You get a reward also instantly, and it keeps you going also. So I feel that little bit of under planning is good for this exam. Even little bit of over planning, it is not good in the long run, I feel. Because when you start over planning, what happens is that you get demotivated in the end. So based on my experience, I'll tell you. Second thing, most important, we call it as a syndrome called as Fomo Syndrome. You would have heard about it? What is this? Fear of missing out. So many books, so many toppers, okay, so many question papers, so much is there in this, and we'll be lost in the ocean of the materials here. So the most important thing which all of you should do today itself is that first define what you're going to do. Polity, I'll only do Lakshmikant and I'll solve 2 institutes ka question papers. That's all. I will not go even 1 inch beyond that. That is very important. Suddenly what will happen? Last week, so many institutes will come up, 100 most probable questions, 200 most probable areas, 1000 questions, like that will come, and you start studying that. Suddenly, some QB 365, PT 365, some 365 will come. And you will start, whatever you are reading, you will just throw it and go to the new material. This is not the right way. So in case you have not started current affairs, it's okay. But you have already started current affairs with some magazine, please continue that only, no? Because anyway questions are not going to come. Then why do you worry? Right? So what is more important is that defining what you're going to do. Say for example, in polity, I always had one strategy. I'll just read only one book called Lakshmikant. Second thing, I will solve 3 institutes ka question papers. At least 10 question papers I'll solve. This was my entire polity preparation. Over. Done. 11th question paper I will not go. And I should not go. Same way you should start defining each and every point. And I'm not going to give Gyan what you should do in which subject. Because all your faculties are experienced enough. They would have told you what to do, what not to do. But only thing is that you define your area. And you write it down and keep. When you start going beyond that area, no. You should cut down and come back. Because you have so many other areas to cover. Because prelims is something which you should be more shallow and more wider in perspective. Very important. Okay. This is the thing. The third important problem is that very important syndrome. This I framed myself for my LMCS, which I call as let me complete syndrome. So a lot of people have this problem also. What they will tell? This Sunday there is a test of polity, but they will not have completed syllabus. What they will do on Saturday night? Shit, yaar, I have not completed the syllabus. Okay, let me take the test on Tuesday. I will read even more better. I will score very well, and they will postpone the schedule whatever they have planned. What they will do? And Tuesday also they will not be prepared. And what will happen is that next test ka time will go down for you. So what happens is that if you have planned, whether you complete or not completed, it doesn't matter. Just go by a plan. Okay, you wanted to complete 10 chapters of geography within this Saturday, but you have completed 7, and from Sunday your schedule is with ethics or something like that. What you should do? If you sit with Sunday also with geography, what will happen? Ethics will also go off and geography will also go off. So what you do, whatever you have done, it's good. Just stop it there and just stick to your plan and go off. And automatically you can come back sometime back and do the remaining part which you have missed already. So you, when you're planning, just keep some extra days so that whatever you missed, you cover on those days. But do not replan every time. That becomes an extremely hard task. And I know this syllabus is extremely wide, so that you get lost in the preparation sometimes. So this is one more thing, very important. And fourth important thing is that, very, very interesting thing is that this is, so how many of you watch motivation videos in this class in YouTube? How many of you watch? Okay. So what is the problem when you start one YouTube video? What happens? One motivation video. What happens is that people think that, okay, I've read for 1 hour, let me get motivated, I'll watch one motivational video and come back. Does that happen? Does it happen? No. So that was one guy who used to sit next to me and read. In his table, he written a motivational quote, okay, that there are 1,000 reasons to get up from this chair and go off, but there is only one reason to sit and study, that is IAS. He would have written like this. So, okay, I saw that, and what I guess, for sitting itself he needs a motivation, then when he is going to start reading? That is a problem for us. We always search for motivation. But the problem is, the motivation should be within you. First of all, why all of you are here to pursuing civil services? Everyone have a good educational background. You could have worked in private, like so many centers where you are paid hell a lot of money. Here you won't get even and I saw my first salary and I got shocked also. So government salary is also so poor. But is it for the salary we are coming here? Everyone has some goal, right? To do something, to bring a change, where you have lot of scope of working in the ground, lot of scope to change the forces which you are going to command, and you have so many people working under you, right? So these are the most important things which motivated me always. So similarly, there will be something which is going to motivate you. Whenever you want to get motivated, just see that and come back to your reading. Do not go to multiple motivational videos, so that what happens is that you end up wasting your time in the name of motivation. So a lot of people think that, okay, every time I need to get motivated, every time you get motivated. So what happens is that you have 1 hour for studying, but what happens is that 30 minutes will just go in thinking about motivation, watching about motivation, but rest 30 minutes only you will start studying. So the problem is that do not define this motivation. You are already motivated. That is why you are here. So many students are just going for job, they are working, seeking employment, etc. The purpose you are here itself is the best motivation here, right? So do not search for motivation from outside. I will humbly request you for that. Okay, just define your motivation, just paste it. Whenever you want to get motivated, just see that 3 lines only, and it should be your personal motivation. That is the most important thing. Okay, and last thing is that everyone does that. Postponing your things. It comes like a planning only, but specifically I am telling here that postponing your tests. I'm telling you, this is in UPSC preparation, postponing tests is the biggest enemy for you. Whenever you postpone your test, please put this in your mind. If you're postponing one test, means you are not in the race. You're missing out the race. Whether you read, whether you do not read, it doesn't matter, but take your tests on time. All of you have some test series going on, right? Even when you postpone one test, please put it in your mind that you are losing out of track. And this advice you may not realize now, but next year when you stand here and give lecture for someone else, you will realize the importance of this line which I have told you today. So these are the 5 kind of principles which I learned hard in my lesson, in my life. And these are the 5 principles. If you follow, I think you will not have a hard journey like me. You will have a much easier journey like one attempt you may crack and go off. Okay, that is why I wanted to put this 5 points forward. So please take this 5 points if you are not okay with all my rest of the stories and ideas. At least these 5 points, I think it is common for everyone and it will definitely work for everyone, I feel. Okay. So with this, I thought I will end my session. So these are the few things from my experience I would like to give you. And specifically because prelims is very near. So most importantly, 3 important points I want to tell you here is that first is everyone knows the importance of current affairs. So your current affairs faculty would have told, read this book, this current affairs. I am telling you, question is not going to come from any current affairs. Trust me, it's not going to come from any current affairs. Whatever you are following, just read that material. Okay, XYZ Academy is current affairs is better, YZ Academy is better, nothing like that. Every academy ultimately gives the same content only, almost same. So whatever you are reading, just follow that. But only thing is that current affairs your revision should be multiple times. So instead of reading new materials, read whatever you have read at least 10 times. At least 10 times I am telling. Then only it will help you to eliminate. Because when you have to eliminate, you should have a very good understanding about that. So you need to read multiple times for current affairs. Second important thing, again, before the exam, you have, how many subjects you have for prelims totally? How many subjects? So 5, 6, 9 subjects and extra subjects are there. Imagine just before the day of prelims, what happens? Has anyone written prelims here before this? No one has attempted, right? You attempted? No? Okay. So what happens before the day of prelims? I have seen my friends, my students, so many people who don't even sleep before the night of prelims because so much pressure comes on them. Shit, I have not revised polity, I have not revised science and technology, I have not revised current affairs, something like that. So much pressure starts coming up. So what I would believe in that is that making short notes. That means your entire polity should be covered within 5 A4 sheets. Entire geography should be covered within 3 or 4 A4 sheets. How can you do that? Is that whenever you're reading, say for example, let's take the example of the parliament chapter. Lok Sabha speaker, deputy speaker, you always know the same answers are going to come. So you are already thorough. But somewhere like the parliamentary committee, where you are little weak, right? So make notes wherever you are weak only. Whichever you know should not come into the notes. This notes is something called as what you do not know. Only that should be there. And what you are not confident enough. Or what are the mnemonics you want to revise in front of exam. So if you can make 7 into 5 pages, 35 page notes. Imagine you have such a notes before your prelims exam. Before day of prelims. What will happen? You will start in the morning. You will revise just 35 pages. And what will be your feeling? Yes, I have revised all the subjects. And whatever was my weakest area, I have revised it already. You will feel very good about yourself. And this feeling of goodness is extremely important in clearing prelims because 70% of your questions you are going to solve just with your presence of mind. When will your presence of mind work? When you are calm, composed, when you are confident. Only this thing can give you confidence just before your prelims. I personally feel. So this is also an extremely important thing. And third important thing I would say is that the strategy for 1 week before prelims is something called as mistake notebook. So you take lot of tests, right? So what happens in tests? You will write and you will forget. You will just score your score is 70, 80 marks, 100 marks, 100 and you will forget and you go to the next test. But what about the learning from this test? So you will have 100 questions with 4 options, which is like one paper will have 400 different areas. Can you make notes of every 400 area? Not possible. So whatever you get right, please leave it. That is not important. The right things do not teach anything in your life. Only always your failures teach you lessons, right? Similarly, in every test, whatever mistake you make, please make a note of it. Okay, whichever area you have never come across, make a note of it. Maintain a separate notebook called as mistake notebook, and this is what you are going to do last 4 or 5 days before your prelims, so that the last week and the last day of your prelims strategy should be ready by now itself, so that you don't get burdened at the time that I'm going to read this, I'm going to read that, I'm going to read polity, geography, nothing. Just do these 2 simple things. Whatever you have read, not read, doesn't matter, because anyway it is not going to come in your exam. Please remember that again and again, so that whatever you do, these are my 2 strategies. That is a mistake notebook and a short notes of everything. I'm not telling you should all do that, but at least you should have a strategy for the last week and the last day of your prelims, so that you go confidently into the exam. I'm telling you, even if you have 1% self-doubt, you are not going to crack prelims. I'm very sure about it, because when you have self-doubt about yourself, your mind will not work. You will be under extreme pressure. Your mind will not think extraordinarily. It will just think within that question only. You should go beyond the question for most of the questions. So only then you can crack this prelims. Okay. So with this, I'll end this strategy for prelims also. Is there anything you would like to ask me? Like anything specific about subjects? If you want, I can answer that. So how is your classes going, and how is your tests going on? All good? All of you are scoring every test 150 plus, 160 plus, huh? 100, 70, 80, 60? Okay. So that is the problem. Most of the tests, we do not cross 100 also. That is the reality. No one crosses 100. But it does not mean that UPSC also will not cross 100. If you start, at least you always try to be in the top 5 or top 10 in the class. That should be your target. So that automatically you take the same thing towards the exam. Okay. So how many of you are appearing for prelims this year? You people are not appearing for prelims. Only few are appearing for prelims. What about others? They are still in college? Huh? A lot of people are from college. Okay. The coaching industries have started gaining so much from college itself. Okay, very good. Nice. So people who are going to appear for the prelims, all the very best. Hopefully in 2023 I'll see you as my juniors or an IAS juniors. For others, probably in the future. Okay, I'll be seeing you. Okay, all the very best. Is there any doubts? Shall I end my session? Okay, fine. Then good luck.
This video is brought to you by AKS IAS.